So today I want to share with you my video editing process for creating talking head videos that's beginner friendly and can be used in any video editor. And I hate long intros, so let's just dive in. Now for this tutorial, I'll be editing my video with Riverside as they are sponsoring this video, but you can follow this exact system with any editor that you have. But the benefit of doing it in Riverside is they have a lot of built-in tools that make editing talking head videos a breeze. And if you actually are curious and want to check them out at the end of this video, you can actually get a 30-day free trial to test them out, see if you like them. All you gotta do is just go through the affiliate link in the description of this video and use coupon code Colin. And that way you can actually try them out for free and see if you like the software before actually having to pay for anything. Now for step 0.5, I just want you to hop into your editor and add your footage to your timeline and whatever you're using. Since I'm using Riverside, I could either upload my video I recorded on my camera, but Riverside actually allows me to record inside of its software. So I actually have over in my projects here, the video I recorded here, 40 minutes long. I blabbed for a while and we got to cut that down a bit. And all I'm going to do is just click the edit button here. That's going to take me into Riverside's editor. And I already have my video clips all added to my timeline, including my screen share, which is really nice. If I do need to add more footage, you can always click the plus button here, add more into your project, but we're all set. Let's get into editing. Now, the first thing I do when I edit my talking head videos is I remove silence, mistakes, and unnecessary parts. So it's kind of obvious. Obviously, you're gonna remove the parts where you're not talking and mess ups where you mess up your lines. But removing unnecessary parts is something people often skip over. And so what you really want to look for is, if I remove this sentence, does my video still make sense? If that is the case, chances are you should probably remove that sentence. And I don't know about you, but I oftentimes get into tangents and talk on a point for too long. And so you want to make sure to pick up on those things as you're going through the edit and be like, okay, I kind of went off on a tangent there. They don't need all of this information. And oftentimes people would rather you just get to the point and get on with the video. And I can already tell I'm starting the tangent about a tangent. So make sure you're just paying attention for those. And there are two primary ways that you can go through and actually edit your video and remove the silences and mistakes. First, obviously you're gonna want to zoom in on your timeline where your video clips is, and you're gonna want to find wherever you start talking. Which for me, this is all me kind of like blabbing and getting ready for the video, but right here is where I start talking. And what I like to do is something called the split method. And basically what this is, to simplify it, is you have your video clip and you've got your audio bumps there. And essentially what you want to do is click the split button before your sentence begins and after your sentence ends, and then just delete the silent parts in between there. So for example, here's my opening line. So I know I begin right here. So I'm going to go over to the split button and click that. You should be able to find the split button in your editor, or sometimes it's Command B or Control B on your keyboard. And then I'll let the video play here for a second. Now, the first thing I wish I knew when I started YouTube is that you don't actually need to niche down. Pause. I'm using the space key to pause. And then I'm going to click the split button again, because that's the end of my opening sentence. And then I'll scroll ahead to the next spot where I begin, which is right here. I'm going to click the split button. And now you can see this silent part here is completely separated. And so I can literally just click the delete key on my keyboard. And now, right when this first sentence ends, the second sentence begins. And when I get to the end of the second sentence, we'll end up clicking the split key. And then you can just kind of go through your editor, cutting out the silent parts and adding your sentences together. And as you can imagine, that's really tedious. This is a 40-minute video, which means I'm gonna have to scroll through this 40-minute video, cutting out the silent parts, scrolling ahead, going up to where I next talk, click the split button, kind of go through that whole thing. And that's the way most of us have had to edit all our lives, but it's 2026 now, and Riverside actually has built-in tools to completely take care of that entire process. So what you can actually do, and I'm gonna click the back button here, let's reverse our cuts. Instead of manually doing it, I can just head over to AI tools here, and I can just click remove pauses, and I can just click the apply button. Oh, and you can look at my timeline, all that work's done. All the silent parts are removed. 1 second, just like that. And this is such a time saver, especially if it is literally just a talking head video. It's one clip where you're talking, boom, done. Now you can also remove filler words. When you're using ums and ahs and things like that, one click, all my ums and ahs are gonna be gone. Now what we can also do is the find fluff. So if I click the review button, it's gonna go through my video and find the areas where I might have made mistakes or it might be relevant. So if you look in the beginning here, all right, take 2, here we go, blah, 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 blah. And it knows right here is where I actually begin my video. So I can just click apply and it removes that unnecessary part from my video. And here, look, it actually caught. So this is actually a second channel that I started in my, so this is actually a second channel that I started and it knew I messed up my lines here because here's where I got it right. And so it's telling me, yeah, you should probably cut this from your video. Apply, gone. And so I can literally just make sure to review this, make sure it's actually parts I'm gonna cut, which normally gets it pretty right almost all the time. And I literally don't have to do a single thing really. In like a few minutes, I can have a rough cut of all the silences and mistakes taken out. Now that doesn't mean all your work is saved. You're still gonna need to rewatch your video and make sure you aren't rambling in certain spots because it can't stop you from rambling. So you're still gonna need to go through and be like, okay, I need to cut out this part. I can shorten this and help the video move along. The second thing you wanna keep an eye out for is sometimes when it does cut silences super fast, it sometimes picks up on little noises you might make in between your sentences. So if you look here, if I zoom in, you'll see there's these little loud parts that it picked up that aren't actually part of the sentence. So all I have to do for that is just select over these and click the delete key and they're gone. So when you think about the technology of it picking up noise and noticing when it's quiet, sometimes if you're making noise, it can do that. So just make sure you select those, delete those out. And with that, whether you did it the automatic way or you went through manually and removed all the silences, mistakes, we're now ready to actually enhance our video and add some engaging elements to it. Now, step number 2 is we want to create an engaging intro. And what I mean by that is the first 15 to 30 seconds of your video is the most important part of your video. People have clicked on your video, they're choosing to watch it, and they're deciding in that first 15 to 30 seconds, is it actually worth my time to stay and watch this video? Or is this gonna be boring, or it's not gonna be important, and I can just leave and go and watch something else? So what I like to do is make my first 15 to 30 seconds the most edited part of my video. And a few different ways you can do that. You can use text, you can use stock footage, or the more fancy term of using stock footage, which is B-roll. You could even use captions on screen if you want. Now in this particular video, I actually did something where I didn't have to actually edit as much, and this might be a useful tool for you if you are someone who doesn't want to put as much effort into editing, is to just get to the point right away. And what I did instead for my opening intro here is, this was a YouTube tips video. And so I literally started the video showing off a silver play button and just immediately got right into the content. So someone already saw in my title and my thumbnail what my video is about. And so right when they click, I'm just getting right to the information. So this is actually 10 things I wish I knew on YouTube, which you can actually go watch the video on YouTube. Like, I edited it fully in Riverside. It's up on the channel right now, but watch how I open this. Now, the first thing I wish I knew when I started YouTube is that you don't actually need to niche down. So the video is literally about 10 things I wish I knew about YouTube. And then I'm just starting. Here's step number 1. And then flashing the play button at the same time is also super valuable, because then I'm showing proof that I know what I'm talking about. This is important information. And so even think about that with your videos. Is there something you can have as maybe your background or something you can show that kind of hooks people in? But if you don't have that, then you're gonna wanna add things like text effects, stock footage, or captions. In Riverside, we've got captions built in. Most editors have some form of captions built in. But I can easily just select these ones, and this will actually highlight the letters as it plays. So I can select this, or if captions aren't your thing, the other thing is to add some text. So right when I say my point number 1 here of you don't actually need to niche down, I can head over just to the text effects in my editor. And I can add some of those in, and then I can change the size of these. We'll go with a medium, and I can grab those, move those down here. And then also adding transitions to your text effects helps keep it engaging too. So if I go over here, I can click animation. I can do like a fade in or a fade out, or if I want, I can do a nice slide up, which is pretty fancy. Some good movement there. And then for the out transition, I could have it slide off screen. Now let's take a look at what this looks like. And mind you, the preview screen on Riverside here is lower quality than what will actually export. So if you see that, that's not actually what your video is gonna look like. It's just so that way it renders and everything moves smoothly. Now, the first thing I wish I knew when I started YouTube is that you don't actually need to niche down. You'll hear these YouTube experts say that you have, and I think that's pretty good. Now, in addition to text, also adding stock footage or B-roll into your project can also be a super engaging way. Now in this video, I actually get to a screen share pretty quickly in the opening intro here. So stock footage doesn't necessarily fit with this talking head video, but I'm still gonna show you how you can do that. With Riverside, you can actually head over to videos and there's actually built-in stock footage where you can go through, search stuff up and add it to your project. If you are editing outside of Riverside, you can use pexels.com, which has free stock footage, but it is kind of nice just having everything you need all in one place. Now, this might not be the perfect fit, but obviously I'm talking about, YouTube. So I could just search something like influencer in the videos section, and it's going to generate or bring up a whole bunch of videos around different influencers and things like that. They have both vertical and horizontal videos. So here's one of a guy making like a video on his phone that I could add. And all I gotta do is just click on this and it's gonna add it right in the timeline here. I can also trim it just by grabbing either side of the stock footage and I can trim it down. And then I can also increase the size of it too. Now this project's actually a 4K project. So my video file size is a little bigger, but I can just drag this over and drag up that way. And now when I actually click play here, you can have me talking. It can switch over to the stock footage that I added and then also switch back to me. And just having those in there, finding places to add B-roll just makes a video more engaging because it's not just a straight talking head video. There's other clips in there. And you got to keep in mind, YouTube or anywhere you're posting content, like video is a visual format. People aren't just sitting there to listen to you talk. They want to visually see things. So anytime you can add stock footage in, you want to. So as you even go through your project here, after you're done with this opening intro and you add maybe some text effects or captions or some stock footage, throughout the rest of your video, try to keep in mind, like, what am I actually saying here? And maybe I can head over to this video section and just see, is there something visual I could put up on screen? Like if I'm talking about using a computer, if I talk about computer or editing, is there a way I could pull up a video of like someone like this one where someone's on a computer screen, or maybe this one, and I can add those in just to add some visual engagement? Or maybe you're a real estate agent. Maybe you can search for sale and find some like for sale signs or real estate type videos that you would be able to add in to just kind of make your video more engaging. The more of those you can sprinkle in naturally when it actually does make sense for your video, the better. Now, two other things to consider adding to your video to help make it more engaging. One of those is images, and Riverside does have built-in royalty-free images that you can use. You can find things relevant to your video. Obviously, adding those in can be nice, but a little sneaky hack that you can do if you want to add some fun kind of like stickers in is go to text in your editor and add an emoji in. So let's say instead of just this text title here, click on this and edit it. And then let's open our emojis and do a thumbs up emoji, just like that. We can actually increase the size of this to, let's just do like 180 to start. There we go. We'll delete our stock footage for right now. So here I can have a thumbs up kind of pop up on screen here. And then I'm going to transition it and I'm going to make it slide from the left, and then the out, I'm going to make it slide back. So as I'm talking, if you want to pretend like, if I'm saying like, if you're enjoying this video, be sure to give it a like. I can literally have the like emoji pop up, or any emoji. Like maybe you're saying something that's like, maybe you're talking about like, oh, something's going bad. I could add like a, like a crying emoji, like the housing market sucks right now, and as you're talking about that, you could have like an emoji kind of slide out and then slide off the screen. And that can be a really fun way of just adding some engagement to your video. Because again, it's a visual thing. So the more visual things you can have on screen, big thumbs up. See what I did there? And finally, let's talk about music and adding music to your videos. Now, not all videos need to have music in them. I tend to like music in some of my videos, especially if there's like a little bit of background noise sometimes. Just adding a soft track there can kind of hide background noise in a microphone. And as you expect, Riverside does have music built into the software. Otherwise, you're probably gonna have to go and purchase music from another company if you do want to add music to your video. Now, once you've gone through and you've edited your video, you added different stock footage and things like that, and you're all set, obviously you can export it, share it, upload it to YouTube. And it's also worth noting that Riverside has a lot of other features built in too, like being able to turn these videos you film automatically into short clips for you. They've got live streaming capabilities. You've got podcast tools. There's a lot built into Riverside to help you as a creator. So definitely check them out, and I'll see you guys in the next video.